Hey y'all, so this is interview 2 with Trish Taylor going over creating my avatar. So if you missed the first one, you may want to check that out. We did get a little bit lengthy, so I decided to break it up into 2 parts. And in that first one, we just talk about figuring out who my audience is, and so narrowing that down to one specific person. And then in this video, we talk about what we do with that. And what I found in this process is that, like I said, I am not a marketing savvy person. I've said that several times. I don't really like marketing, and I didn't really even see the value of this until I started using this process. So I really wanted you all to see how this works. And it was a little bit more complicated for this book than I anticipated when we sat down to do it. But what I have learned since doing this interview is that it has helped me in more ways than I expected. So I've talked about in the avatar video about how creating an avatar helps you with writer's block. It can help you overcome writer's block, because basically you just kind of think about your avatar as someone who needs your book or who wants your book. And you can also even use it as like talking to that person. So in my first book, when I was thinking about my avatar, I was like thinking about someone like me actually needs this content because they may be struggling with some of the things that I was struggling with. And then also it helped me with this one, just figuring out like exactly some of the stuff that I was struggling with the message of my book and the structure even. And so I didn't see that coming. But then also at the end of this, you'll see how you use this with marketing, and that is very, very important. Even though I don't like it, it is something that we have to do as indie authors. And so using this tool has helped me tremendously, and I hope it helps you as well.
So I've changed it.
Okay, so you've established kind of through a thought process and discussion that it's not necessarily for people who want to come out, because for one thing, we don't really know where they are or who they are. So if it's for allies, where are they? Who are they? Is that a big group? Who do we know who they are?
I think that they are educated. Can I say that?
Sure.
I mean, they're people who are concerned with what's happening. So I don't want to use words that are divisive.
Right, you don't want to be political, but there are people who care about equality, social justice. When we were discussing this, it did make me think as well, if this book was for people who are interested in the human experience of someone who's come out in the South and are interested in the story and empathise or care, understand or want to understand more, this might also in turn reach people who want to come out. Do you know what I mean? Because it's sometimes...
Right, we're not excluding them.
No, but it might be that if they don't know the book's for them, it still might be helpful. And for other people who've come out. Because people like to read about people like them. People like... When I came to the US, I liked to read about other people who came to the US, who'd experienced some of the difficulties I found at first. Because you feel supported by them and you feel understood. So it's our niche. So your niche is a little bit wider, but I think people who are supportive and interested in your group, the target group, it goes a little bit wider. But we still need to focus a little bit more on where they hang out and who they are. But do you feel a little closer to what the book's about now?
Yes.
Is it still going to be a guide to becoming a citizen? I still haven't got my head around that yet. But
she's scared to say queer.
No, I didn't. Maybe I am, but no, I don't think I am. No, it's more
because it has been used as a derogatory term.
But for me, it wasn't even that. It was like a citizen. I'm not, because I think it's because I'm tied in with the fact that I went through the process, and I'm thinking, but do you go through a process? Because I had to fill this form in and I had to do a test, and I had to ask all my friends and test me on this and ask me the 100 questions that it means, and I'll tell you what, most Americans don't know those answers. But so
it's not that literal.
No, of course not.
It's just kind of Yeah.
Because going back, you said, how do you know if you're an American? Well, clearly you're not if you're becoming an American. So how do you know if you're queer?
You're eligible to become one.
Oh, eligible. So how would somebody be eligible to be queer?
You have to come to terms with that.
Is eligible the right word?
Yeah. Yeah.
Eligible.
You're thinking way too much about this.
Okay, so the next thing you would need to do is you need to hone down this group, and so she's got a better idea of who the book's for. And by thinking who the book's for, you start looking at what the book is, and you might shift it completely and go, well, actually, this group of people don't need this, but this group do, and this group, and so once you find your niche, it has little ripples of other people who might read it, right? I mean, going back to Harry Potter, that was a children's book. It's not children who read it now, is it? They read it, and lots of other people read it to their kids and thought, I really like this. And then she shifted a little from my understanding and made it, the first one was very much a children's book, and then it became less so and more suitable for more people. And they just like the stories. So your book, it starts off and it's for you, people, whoever this group is, you or this group, and then it ripples out and it becomes suitable for everybody. Is it going to be funny? Is there going to be any humour in it?
Well, I'd like to think so.
Entertaining?
Yes, definitely entertaining and eye-opening.
Happy ending?
Of course.
It's going to have, is it going to be R-rated?
Yes.
You see, and again, that defines a bit more about the book and who's it for, really, right?
Right.
Because one of the things you find is some people really do not like books that have got bad language or sex or whatever. Just because someone's gay does not mean that they're going to necessarily be attracted to your book. Right. It might not be for them. So that's really easy to think, oh, well, this is a book about a gay experience, or a queer experience. So it's for this group. No, because it's not a group that are all the same, right?
Right.
It's diverse. A diverse group within a diverse group.
Yes.
So anything else on finding out who your book's for, what it's all about?
I feel like I really have to practice what I preach, and this has been good for me because I talk about using your avatar, and this is helping me really get my focus on what direction I need to take in finishing the book, and it will help me, I know, in marketing.
Right, because if you don't do this exploration right at the beginning, it's hard to fix once you've done it, and once you've done a cover and called it something, as we know, yes. it makes it really difficult to shift it halfway through or at the end, and really quickly. That's because Julie used the word bullshit in one of her books, which is perfectly fine to use it, but we discovered that Amazon won't advertise a book with that word in it in their Amazon marketing services platform. And once you've done that, you have to start thinking, is it too much trouble to change it? So doing your research before and finding out what words might be a trigger is really important.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Trish.
All right, bye for now.